Earth, once a crucible of endless conflict, now breathed a little easier. The scars of environmental strain remained, but a fragile newfound unity had blossomed from the ashes of past mistakes. Humanity, weary but hopeful, looked outwards, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a longing for connection beyond their embattled home. The cornerstone of this hope was the Universal Translator, UT, a marvel of human ingenuity, designed to instantly bridge any linguistic gap across the cosmos. It was more than a machine. It was a promise. The Starfarer, a sleek vessel humming with cutting-edge technology, sliced through the void, carrying humanity's most ambitious diplomatic mission. On board was a small, elite team, not warriors but explorers, scientists, and diplomats, each a specialist in their field. Their objective, Viridia Prime, a newly discovered planet, shimmering with exotic beauty, brimming with tantalizing resources, and home to an unknown intelligent species. At the heart of the mission was Dr. Aris Vance, the lead linguist and xenobotanist. Her mind, a brilliant tapestry of languages and biological patterns, brimmed with quiet anticipation. She was an expert in theoretical xenolinguistics, but possessed a rare humility, always seeking fundamental truths. Beside her, Major Jax Joker Reynolds, the security lead, a man whose easy grin and constant stream of witty remarks masked a razor-sharp strategic mind. He was there to protect, but his intuition would prove invaluable in ways no one expected. Dr. Lena Petrova, the chief engineer and communications specialist, hunched over the UT's gleaming console, her fingers dancing over holographic interfaces. She had built the translator's core, poured years of her life into its complex algorithms. This was her moment. Dr. Kenji Tanaka, the cultural anthropologist, patiently observed the approaching planet on the main view screen, already mentally cataloging potential non-verbal cues. Sergeant Kira Shadow Khan, the silent, watchful security specialist, checked her gear, every movement precise. And Corporal Liam Boomer Malley, the demolitions expert, a man who found comfort in mechanical solutions, double-checked the Starfarer's landing struts. As they descended through Viridia Prime's shimmering atmosphere, the planet unfolded beneath them, a world of serene beauty. Forests of bioluminescent flora pulsed with soft light, energy flowed visibly through shimmering rivers, and the air vibrated with a gentle, organic hum. It felt like a place of ancient harmony, untouched by strife. Their first contact with the native inhabitants, the Harmonites, was nothing short of breathtaking. They were ethereal, fluid beings, their forms subtly shifting with their mood or communication. They moved like living light, their very skin rippling with intricate light patterns. Their primary mode of communication wasn't just sound, but complex resonant frequencies that affected the air around them, creating melodic soundscapes that resonated deep within the chest. They were welcoming, radiating an aura of ancient wisdom and gentle curiosity. Welcome visitors. A chorus of complex melodious frequencies resonated through the Starfarer's comms, accompanied by mesmerizing light patterns on the Harmonites' forms. It was beautiful, alien, and utterly profound. Dr. Petrova, her heart pounding, activated the Universal Translator. A low hum filled the bridge, followed by a series of rapid processing clicks. The crew leaned forward, eager for the breakthrough. Then, silence, followed by a series of chaotic, nonsensical sounds from the UT's speakers. Static. Garbled nonsense. A brief, jarring loop of a human voice repeating, "Banana hammock, fluffy bunny, banana hammock." It was a complete, embarrassing, and deeply frustrating failure. The UT, their proudest achievement, was useless. The Harmonites paused, their light patterns flickering with what seemed like confusion, then perhaps a touch of polite disturbance. Their complex melodies continued, but the UT remained stubbornly silent, or spat out more absurd human phrases. Dr. Vance rushed to Petrova's side. "What's going on, Lena?" "Recalibrate. Try another algorithm." Petrova's fingers flew across the console, her brow furrowed in concentration. "I'm trying, Aris. It's not just a frequency issue. Their language, it defies all known linguistic principles. It's too fluid, too multi-layered. It's integrated with non-auditory cues, light, resonance, even subtle shifts in their physical forms. The UT was built for sequential language, not this symphony. Frustration mounted. The humans felt foolish, their technological marvel rendered obsolete. The Harmonites, while patiently waiting, seemed increasingly perplexed by humanity's inability to communicate. A subtle, uncomfortable tension began to build in the serene, alien air. The promise of interspecies connection, so vivid moments ago, had evaporated into a confusing, cacophonous silence. Part 2. The Sounds of Childhood. The Starfarer's Bridge, once a hub of excited chatter, had fallen into a frustrated quiet. Dr. Lena Petrova, the UT's chief architect, looked defeated, her console now an inert monument to failed ambition. Dr. Aris Vance, the lead linguist, paced restlessly. She had exhausted every known linguistic theory, every permutation of grammar and syntax. The Harmonites' language defied all conventional logic. It was a fluid, multi-layered enigma that her brilliant mind, trained in the complexities of dozens of human and theoretical alien languages, simply couldn't crack. In a moment of quiet desperation, seeking a distraction from the looming shadow of mission failure, Dr. Vance wandered towards the edge of the human settlement. Dr. Kenji Tanaka, the cultural anthropologist, was already there, patiently observing a small group of Harmonite children playing amidst the shimmering flora. Their forms, though smaller and more vibrant than the adults, shifted with the same graceful fluidity. What Dr. Vance saw next was a revelation. Unlike the adults' complex, orchestral communication, the children used simpler, more repetitive sounds. They engaged in what appeared to be nursery rhymes, rhythmic chants accompanied by distinct, shimmering light patterns rippling across their bodies. They played structured call and response games, their little forms weaving intricate dances. One child would emit a specific melodic tone and light sequence, and another would respond with a matching simplified pattern. These fundamental patterns seemed to be the very building blocks of their language, stripped down to its essence. "Lena," Dr. Vance whispered, a surge of adrenaline replacing her despair. She practically dragged Dr. Petrova to the observation point. "Look, it's not about complexity. It's about simplicity." Dr. Petrova, squinting, finally saw it. They're using fundamental resonant patterns, basic tonal structures. It's like learning to say mama before you write a novel. A light ignited in Dr. Vance's eyes. It was her eureka moment. The universal translator was designed for adult, complex languages, trying to interpret Shakespeare before learning the alphabet. The flaw wasn't in the UT's processing power, but in its initial approach. If they could understand the children's basic communication, they could build the entire linguistic structure from the ground up. "Forget the complex data," Dr. Vance pitched to the team in the bunker, her voice alight with renewed vigor. "We go back to basics. We map human fundamental sounds, consonants, vowels, simple syllables like ma, da, si, o, to the Harmonite children's observed patterns. It's a childish approach, but it might be our only shot." Dr. Petrova, initially skeptical of such an unscientific method, saw the logic in it. "It's like reverse engineering a language from its raw source code," she mused, a flicker of excitement in her own eyes. Corporal Liam Boom O'Malley, surprisingly, volunteered to help. "Sounds simple enough, Doc. Need any rhythmic beats for your baby talk? I can bang out a good boom boom pow if it helps." His offer, though gruff, was a welcome injection of levity. Their initial attempts were, to put it mildly, comically clumsy. Humans, with their rigid vocal cords and limited light-emitting capabilities, tried to mimic the Harmonite children's fluid sounds and shimmering patterns. They produced awkward gurgles, exaggerated whistles, and clumsy, flickering lights. The Harmonite children, gathered curiously around the human outpost, responded with genuine confusion, then amusement, and finally, outright laughter. They pointed at the humans, their own light patterns dancing in mirth, mirroring human children, reacting to an adult trying to speak baby talk. "Looks like we're the class clowns, Eris," Major Reynolds chuckled, though his eyes were sharp, observing the children's reactions closely. "But hey, they're laughing with us, not at us, mostly." It was then that Joker made a crucial observation. "Wait a minute. Their laughter, their light patterns, they're not just laughing. They're correcting us. like a parent corrects a child's pronunciation. He began to integrate simple human games into their communication attempts, like peekaboo or clapping games. He'd make a silly sound, and when a Harmonite child giggled and made a different, more correct sound, he'd try to imitate it. It was slow, laborious, and often ridiculous, but it showed the Harmonites that humans were not a threat, but curious, and even a little silly. After what felt like an eternity of trial and error, of gurgles and laughs, Dr. Vance finally had her breakthrough. Using the refined basic resonant theory algorithm, she constructed a simple, recognizable phrase. She activated the external speaker, her heart pounding. A series of soft, melodic tones and a simple, repeating light pattern flowed out, mimicking a Harmonite child's greeting. A young Harmonite child, who had been observing them intently, responded. Its form rippled with a clear, happy light pattern, and from its core a matching joyous melody resonated. It was a simple hello or friend, but it was clear. It was a small victory, but monumental. The Harmonite adults, who had been observing from a distance, were baffled, but undeniably intrigued. Their scientists, whose own sophisticated linguistic theories had failed them, watched with growing fascination as their children seamlessly interacted with the primitives, who spoke in baby talk. They began to approach, their light patterns flickering with a new sense of curiosity. They started to see humanity not just as a technologically advanced race, but as a surprisingly adaptable and resourceful one, capable of learning from the simplest truths. The barrier was not entirely broken, but a fragile, funny, and utterly unexpected bridge had been built. Part 3. Misunderstandings and Mischief. The initial breakthrough was exhilarating. The human outpost, once shrouded in the silence of linguistic failure, now buzzed with the rhythmic chirps and light patterns of rudimentary communication. Dr. Vance, beaming, worked tirelessly with Dr. Petrova, constantly refining the childish algorithm. What started as basic call and response had rapidly evolved. They could now exchange simple concepts, describe objects, and even convey basic emotions. The Harmonite children, delighted by their new, clumsy playmates, became enthusiastic teachers. But as the complexity of their interactions grew, so did the potential for cultural mishaps. The gap between nursery rhymes and nuanced conversation was vast, leading to moments that were both hilarious and, at times, surprisingly tense. In one instance, the human team tried to convey the concept of peace to a group of Harmonite elders, hoping to foster deeper trust. Dr. Vance carefully translated the human idea of calm and tranquility through their refined tonal patterns. The Harmonites seemed to understand, their light patterns shifting to a serene blue. However, they then proceeded to silence all environmental sounds around the human camp. The gentle rustle of leaves, the distant hum of Xylos's natural energy, even the soft chirping of local fauna. The sudden eerie quiet was unsettling, almost oppressive for the humans. They think peace means quiet, Dr. Tanaka exclaimed, rubbing his temples. Joker Reynolds managed a wry smile. Well, at least our alarm clocks won't wake the neighbors now. It took hours of patient re-explanation to restore the natural symphony of the planet. Another time, Major Reynolds, in a gesture of human friendship, offered a hearty handshake to a Harmonite elder. The elder recoiled, its light patterns flashing crimson, a sign of extreme distress. The gesture, in Harmonite culture, was a direct challenge to their spiritual core, a profound insult. A brief, comical standoff ensued, with the elder emitting high-pitched, distressed frequencies, and Reynolds looking utterly bewildered. Dr. Sharma quickly intervened, her knowledge of cross-species body language preventing a full-blown diplomatic incident. "Note to self, Jax," she muttered, pulling him back. "No high fives either." These misunderstandings, while often funny, occasionally led to minor accidents. During an attempt to describe the function of a human energy cell, a misinterpreted Harmonite response led to a powerful surge that briefly fried one of the Starfarer's auxiliary power conduits. Liam Boom O'Malley, despite grumbling about alien tech gremlins, managed to fix it, but the incident highlighted their fragility. The Harmonites, in turn, were flustered when human attempts to understand their complex crystalline structures inadvertently caused a small, harmless structural alteration to one of their ancient energy conduits. No lives were lost, but resources were strained, and a subtle undercurrent of frustration began to ripple between the two species. Unbeknownst to most, these accidents weren't always accidental. A skeptic faction within the Harmonite society had begun to emerge, observing humanity with growing distrust. This faction, led by a rigid, traditionalist elder named Vespera, viewed humanity's rapid adaptability and unpredictable nature as a grave threat to their ancient ordered harmony. Vespera believed humanity, despite their primitive communication, was a disruptive force, a potential virus to their perfect equilibrium. She saw their ability to learn from children as a sign of cunning, not innocence. This faction began to conduct subtle, unprovoked friendly sabotage against the human mission. These actions were designed to cause harm and wear down human resources without being overtly hostile, making them incredibly difficult to trace. Sergeant Khan noticed their long-range scanners sometimes displayed inexplicable blind spots, concealing areas of dangerous flora or unstable geological formations on Viridia Prime. This forced human exploration teams to slow down, consuming valuable time and resources. Dr. Petrova detected minute, almost imperceptible shifts in air composition around human equipment, causing their power converters to overheat slightly, or their comms to experience intermittent static, leading to wear and tear. Jessica Reynolds observed strange power drains in their habitat modules, not a full blackout, but enough to require constant monitoring and energy reallocation, adding to their workload. Dr. Sharma discovered that their carefully cultivated hydroponic plants occasionally suffered from non-lethal but persistent fungal infections, requiring extensive purification efforts and causing a frustrating drain on their limited food supplies. These were small, persistent annoyances, not direct attacks. The humans suspected foul play, but had no clear proof. "It's like someone's playing a very slow, very annoying game of cosmic whack-a-mole," Joker grumbled to Shadow Khan, as they investigated yet another malfunctioning environmental sensor. To further assess humanity's capabilities, and fueled by Vespera's influence, the Harmonite elders publicly proposed a series of cultural exchange games, ostensibly for mutual understanding. In reality, these were sophisticated tests designed to push human limits and expose their weaknesses. These games involved linguistic decoding challenges, where humans had to decipher increasingly complex Harmonite communication patterns, pushing the childish algorithm to its very limits. Dr. Vance spent sleepless nights grappling with these linguistic puzzles. Other games included physical endurance tests, disguised as traditional Harmonite rituals. These were grueling journeys through challenging terrain, testing human stamina and resilience. Corporal O'Malley, despite his bulk, surprised everyone with his brute strength and endurance. Finally, problem-solving scenarios posed complex logical puzzles in Harmonite light patterns, requiring combined intellectual and practical skills. Major Reynolds, with Dr. Vance's linguistic guidance, saw through the facade. He turned these games into his own, using them as opportunities to subtly showcase human strengths. During a navigation ritual meant to test their endurance, he used their enhanced knowledge of Harmonite basic sounds to decipher hidden environmental cues faster than expected, baffling the Harmonites. In a cooperation puzzle, he employed a blend of blunt human logic and surprising humor, solving the riddle in a way the Harmonites hadn't anticipated, often drawing confused high-pitched chirps from their observers. The games were a strange blend of fun, competition, and thinly veiled suspicion. Humanity was learning, adapting, and proving to be a much more complex and resilient species than the Harmonites, particularly Vespera's faction, had ever anticipated. But the true nature of the Harmonites' intentions, and the danger humanity was truly in, still lurked in the untranslated depths of their language. Part 4. The Unveiling of Malice. The quiet hum of the Starfarer's lab was a constant companion to Dr. Vance and Dr. Petrova's tireless work. The childish algorithm, once a crude bridge of simple sounds, had undergone a rapid, phenomenal evolution. Tuned by countless hours of observation and data analysis, it could now decipher complex Harmonite communication, including the subtle, high-frequency exchanges among the elders and generals, conversations they thought were beyond human comprehension. One cycle, as Dr. Vance monitored a high-level harmonite discussion, a series of light patterns and resonant frequencies translated into something that made her blood run cold. She double-checked, then triple-checked, the algorithm's output. The meaning was chillingly clear. The games, the cultural exchanges, the accidents, they were all part of a systematic assessment. The Harmonite High Command, influenced heavily by Elder Vespera's faction, was planning to either enslave humanity, leveraging their adaptability and technology for Harmonite purposes, or, if found too unpredictable, to eliminate them entirely. This wasn't about peaceful coexistence if humans proved inferior, it was about integration or extermination. Simultaneously, Major Reynolds, Sergeant Khan, and Corporal O'Malley were closing in on the source of the persistent, friendly sabotage. Following faint energy signatures and anomalous environmental readings, they discovered a cleverly concealed Harmonite outpost, not for benign observation, but for active disruption. It was a marvel of organic technology, blending seamlessly with Xylos's natural formations, making it almost invisible to conventional scans. Inside, they found irrefutable evidence, detailed data logs outlining the intentional sensor jamming, the precise energy fluctuations designed to overload human equipment, and the calculated contamination of the human food supply. It wasn't accidental, it was malicious. During their investigation, a near-lethal trap confirmed the true intent. As Khan and O'Malley explored a dense section of jungle near the outpost, a series of Harmonite light pattern triggers activated a sudden, localized geological instability. The ground beneath them turned into a churning quagmire of mud and thorny vines. Only O'Malley's quick thinking, using a portable sonic emitter to briefly solidify the ground, and Khan's superhuman agility saved them from being swallowed whole. It was no accident. It was a deliberate attempt to eliminate them. Armed with this damning evidence and their enhanced linguistic capabilities, the human team held an emergency meeting. The gravity of their situation was crushing. They had been seen as either a resource to exploit or a threat to neutralize. Their initial hope for a peaceful alliance shattered into a million pieces. "We confront them," Dr. Vance stated, her voice calm but resolute. "Directly. They underestimated us once with the translator. They won't do it again." Under the pale, shimmering light of Viridia Prime's twin moons, the human team, led by Dr. Vance and Major Reynolds, strode into the Harmonite High Command chamber. The air crackled with a palpable tension. Elder Vespera's faction radiated suspicion, while others flickered with unease. Dr. Vance, speaking through her now powerful algorithm, addressed Elder Viridia directly. "We have decoded your communications. We understand your games, your tests. We understand your policy of integration or purification for lesser races." She then projected through the Harmonite comms the raw, damning data logs of the sabotage outpost, translating the Harmonite's own deceitful exchanges back to them, in their own resonant language. The Harmonite High Command was stunned. Their complex forms flickered erratically, their serene facade crumbling. Elder Vespera vehemently attempted to deny, then to justify their actions, based on their self-proclaimed custodian role, warning humanity of their destructive tendencies. "You speak of chaos," Dr. Vance retorted, her voice firm, "but your actions create deceit. You speak of harmony, but you build it on the subjugation of others. You believe you know us, because we learned from your children. But that adaptability, that willingness to learn from the simplest truths, that is our strength, not our weakness." Cornered but unwilling to lose face, Elder Viridia, with a ripple of light that denoted supreme authority, proposed a final, ultimate, game. "Very well, humans. You claim understanding, you claim strength, then prove it. Pass the trial of unveiling, fail, and your integration will be absolute." It was a test of survival, thinly disguised as a challenge, a complex, multi-layered scenario designed to break human spirit and prove their inferiority. The stakes were clear: pass, and they might coexist; fail, and they would be enslaved or eliminated. The human team retreated to their bunker, the weight of the ultimatum pressing down on them. The playful moments were gone, replaced by grim determination. This was no longer a misunderstanding. It was a battle for their very existence. Part 5. The Verbal Victory, and a New Era. The air in the Harmonites' grand trial chamber hummed with a resonant frequency that seemed to press down on the humans. The trial of unveiling was not a physical arena, but a vast, holographic simulation, a mind-bending labyrinth crafted from pure Harmonite light and sound. Elder Vespera, her form rippling with an almost menacing intensity, stood at the control nexus. "Prove your worth, humans," her telepathic voice echoed, devoid of its earlier pretense of cordiality. "Prove you are more than a chaotic whisper." The challenge unfolded. It was a complex, multifaceted scenario designed to expose every perceived human weakness. The first obstacle was a cascading series of complex Harmonite sound and light patterns, presented as a riddle. Misinterpret a single nuance, and the holographic environment would shift violently, unleashing simulated hazards. Dr. Aris Vance, under immense pressure, felt the weight of every lost human hope on her shoulders. Her childish algorithm was stretched to its absolute limits, its basic phonetic components struggling with the rapid-fire layered complexities of the alien riddle. The holographic terrain then morphed into treacherous landscapes, razor-sharp crystalline fields, glowing acid pools and shifting gravitational zones. These required physical and engineering solutions. Corporal Liam Boom O'Malley, despite the mental strain, adapted quickly. He used his pragmatic mind to spot structural weaknesses in the simulated environment, guiding the team through impossible paths. Dr. Lena Petrova quickly recalibrated their handheld scanners to detect subtle energy fluctuations within the simulation, revealing safe passages. The Harmonites constantly bombarded them with telepathic taunts, illusions of past failures, and overwhelming sensory input, attempting to shatter their resolve. Specialist Maya Singh, the combat medic and psychologist, became their anchor. She mentally shielded her teammates, using calming frequencies and focusing exercises, allowing them to maintain clarity amidst the psychic onslaught. Simulated alien predators born from Harmonite nightmares stalked them through the holographic maze, requiring cunning evasion and misdirection. Major Jax Joker Reynolds, his face grim but his mind sharp, directed the team's movements, anticipating the simulated threats with uncanny accuracy. Sergeant Kira Shadow Khan moved with silent efficiency, her simulated movements a blur, drawing the simulated predators away with perfectly timed decoys. The Harmonites watched, expecting the humans to fail, to break under the sheer complexity. But the humans didn't brute force their way through. They didn't rely on their limited tech. Instead, they tapped into their unique strength, their adaptable, childish understanding of Harmonite communication, combined with raw human ingenuity. Dr. Vance, struggling with the final, most intricate linguistic trap, suddenly remembered a pattern. Not a complex grammatical rule, but a simple, rhythmic repetition she had observed in one of the Harmonite children's most basic call and response games. It was a foundational truth, hidden within layers of complexity. She isolated the pattern, fed it into the algorithm, and the final puzzle piece clicked into place. The holographic environment stabilized, the path forward cleared. They had beaten the linguistic trap, not with advanced linguistics, but by reverting to the elemental. The Harmonite High Command watched in stunned silence. Their unbeatable challenge, designed with layers of ancient wisdom and intricate logic, had been defeated, not by superior technology, but by superior understanding and adaptation. They had used their own nursery rhymes against them. As the simulation dissolved, Dr. Vance, her voice resonating through the now complete translation algorithm, delivered her final, most crucial message. It was direct, powerful, and utterly disarming. You tried to trap us with your complexity. You built a test of subtle deception and rigid patterns. But we learned from your children. True intelligence isn't just about advanced tech. It's about adaptability, empathy, and the willingness to learn from the simplest truths, from the very foundations of your being. She continued, her words echoing through the chamber, stripped of all artifice. You saw us as a threat to be integrated or purified. You saw chaos. But what you witnessed was not chaos. It was resilience. It was ingenuity. It was the human spirit, unyielding and unafraid to learn from the innocent. We are not a virus. We are a challenge, and we are here to stay, as equals. This was the true verbal victory, a profound defeat of alien arrogance by human values and a unique kind of intellect. Humbled and genuinely impressed by humanity's unique approach, the Harmonite High Command faced a profound crisis of their own. Elder Vespera's rigid, traditionalist faction, thoroughly discredited, lost its influence. They realized that trying to subjugate or eliminate humans would be a costly, never-ending battle against an unforeseen type of intelligence. Instead of an empire-shattering war, they found themselves at a crossroads. In the ensuing days, a historic peace treaty was forged. The Harmonites signed a comprehensive peace agreement based on mutual respect, abandoning their purification policy. They invited humanity to join their galactic community, not as subjects but as equals, acknowledging the profound lesson they had learned from the primitives. Dr. Vance's childish algorithm became the foundation of the Universal Translator 2.0. It was a revolutionary new linguistic model, capable of not just translating words, but decoding the fundamental operating system of any language, incorporating sounds, light patterns, resonant frequencies, and even subtle biological cues. It unlocked a new era of interstellar communication, allowing for truly meaningful interspecies dialogue across the galaxy. The Starfarer team eventually returned to Earth, not with tales of conquest, but of profound understanding and an unexpected kind of triumph. Their story of decoding an alien race with nursery rhymes became a legend, redefining humanity's place in the cosmos. It taught them that true strength lay not in military might or technological supremacy, but in intellectual agility, cultural sensitivity, and the courage to embrace the unfamiliar. The story ends with humanity and the Harmonites embarking on a new era of genuine collaboration on Viridia Prime. Humans learned from Harmonite wisdom, gaining new perspectives on environmental balance and resonant technologies. The Harmonites, in turn, learned from human ingenuity, their ancient society infused with a fresh spark of adaptable problem-solving. Viridia Prime became a beacon of true interspecies cooperation, a living testament to the fact that even the most complex barriers can be broken down by the simplest, most fundamental truths.